He's the other half of Comedy Explosion and the other half of a once-lived TV show, Sumat and Golak Attack. You guys give it up to the very funny Mr. Justin Golak. Come on!
Guys,
wow.
We don't want to white shock you back, so we'll take the halvesies. And like people always say, especially like servers, but I feel like anybody that works in like a restaurant or anything service related, always like talk about like different kinds of people. I don't like old people don't tip, like I don't like kids, they make a mess. I'm like, if you work at a restaurant where you have time to hate different types of people, like you should keep that job forever. Because at this point I just hate all people. Like someone walks in and I'm like, God damn, it's a person. This is probably gonna suck a dick. Yeah, we want some fucking food? Fuck you, suck my dick. It's fucking horrible. Yeah, you talk. I know you talk. Get in your goddamn mouth. I don't really get people on roller coasters that'll do things like, they'll be sitting behind you like, yeah, everybody put your hands up, hands up. Come on, pussy, put your hands up, hands up.
Little known fact, Justin Golak is the hands up guy of Columbus.
This is all about
His incessant hands up motions.
I just actually used to ride my bike a lot, so I'm kind of stuck with the turn signals from that. That was like a 5th grade safety joke. They really killed Miss Johnson's English class last week.
Justin Golak making a left turn was funny. He's like, like when you're on your bike and like you want to take a left. Yeah, you would not just one signal. You could not control it.
So like, don't you already enjoy the roller coaster? Like, do you really have to enhance that experience? Like, I'm afraid I'm going to see this guy like 2 years from the first time I saw him. He's going to be on the roller coaster like, yeah, everybody put your hands up, and could you choke me a little bit on the big hills? Could you swear at me on some loop-de-loops? Call me a bitch on the corkscrew?
Hands up guy is the worst on the Gemini, because he was also, I'm the alone guy on the roller coaster.
Well, that's what dude, when you see a guy that's sitting by himself on the roller coaster, you know that is the worst person ever. Because, like, I have about, I would say 10 really good friends, maybe like 10 more, like, solid friends, but I got at least 200 roller coaster friends. You don't need to, like, you don't fucking need to talk, like, you're literally just sitting and enjoying. Like, if you're like, hey, will you ride a roller coaster with me? And someone's like, no, fucking reevaluate some life choices you've made. One time, I don't know if you guys are Gemini fans, you might know this. When you come around that last bank turn, you can like put out your hand, and if the other cars are around, you can like slap hands with people. Well, one time my friend was doing that, and the guy in the other car tried to undo his watch. And fucking almost got it, except that the bank separated, and it's like, fucking shit. Cleveland.
I like the idea of this crime too, because like, you're in a car where you're being held down by a metal bar. Where the fuck is the watch thief gonna go when it's gonna stop? You just fucking punch the guy.
Well, that's why I think he's the most cockiest ass ever, because he's like, not only am I gonna steal this watch, but we're gonna win by so much that I can escape before the other car pulls in. I don't really like to fight even when I drink. Like, I just don't fight. I think it's stupid. But I almost got in a fight once over Cedar Point. I was in Niagara Falls, Canada, and I was hanging out with some friends, and we were at a bar, and this guy comes up and starts talking to us. About 5 minutes in, I don't even know how it came up, but at one point he goes, fuck Cedar Point. Kings Island's way better. And I was like, well, this is gonna happen, I guess. And it's alright. It's because it's Canada, doesn't mean we can't be polite.
Interesting Justin Golak fact, the other pseudo fight that you had was when he pantsed this dude named George. Why this is hilarious is because George was a Greek fellow who, for me personally, first introduced me to the notion that men could have breasts. Because in the locker room in 7th grade, George takes his shirt off, and I'm like, holy crap.
And in 7th grade, that's not weird, that's kind of sexy, because you see breasts so irregularly. I don't know, when I was in 7th grade, I still had dial-up, So, unless you had like a good 2 hours to jerk it, like you were probably just thinking about George Candace's breasts. Or watching like spring break coverage on MTV. That's like all you know.
So I was flying back from the UK about 2 years ago, and we were supposed to be flying into New York, but instead there was bad weather, so we went into Boston. And Boston wasn't ready for it, so we were grounded on the plane for 13 hours. 13 hours inside a plane. Awful, right? But the worst part about it is there was a lot of British people on the plane that weren't used to this, I guess. And so one of them goes, in the middle of the flight, he goes, "Excuse me, sir, you have an iPhone, do you mind looking up the number of a news station?" I was like, "Oh, whatever, that's fine."
By the way, great British accent.
Thank you, this is my, apparently everyone talks like the Beatles in my British world. But he
was at least polite though. I only have one British accent and it's much more derogatory. Hey, governor, what's that flashy thing you got in your pocket over there? Oh, why don't you take your fancy thing and look up on this stand for me?
And like I said, so we're on the plane for 13 hours and they're doing the best they can, they know everybody's pissed off, and they're just feeding us snacks. And the guy gets the number and he calls the news station, and I wrote down what he said because it was that incredible. He calls and he goes, in my best British accent, "Hello, Boston News. I want you to know that what is happening right now is the saddest human tragedy I've ever been a part of. They have been feeding us nothing but sun chips for 6 hours." Then he said my favorite part, "I would never subject a human being to such terrible treatment." You are British. Your whole culture is built on shitting on other people.
Your British friend describes as the worst tragedy is something that everybody in Ohio as well. They've been sun chips for 6 hours.
I didn't come back. I'm like, "Will you give me more?"
I'm like, fuck this flight.
We're not even going to New York.
Fucking white cheddar? Fuck yeah, man.
I don't know. I think Ohio people would still be mad. Like, if you don't get some goddamn Doritos on this plane, I swear to God,
They got that buffalo
feeding
fever
me
and shit,
sun
man.
chips like a homosexual, man. I need some goddamn Cool Ranch Doritos. I'm gonna stab somebody. I'm sorry.
I distinctly remember.
Sorry.
I'm calling the
9/11 didn't happen, so I need sun chips on the motherfucking plane.
I distinctly remember the pilot coming on and going, "We're gonna have to ground again. Only nacho cheese here." Only nacho cheese here.
Nacho cheese was it's 1998. Son of a bitch.
I can't fly with orange shit on my fingers, so I'm sorry.
My goddamn Walkman's batteries are running low. I got shit to do. It's fucking ridiculous.
I feel like you can actually run like a more reasonable like price campaign for like Delta, where like you take Ohio people, you don't even fly them anywhere else. You just run them around the hangar and get them and give them Doritos.
That maybe would actually
And
happen.
everybody goes, it's like a roller coaster. Everybody's like, "Whoa!" Fake take off. Run them back to the gate.
So I have a German Shepherd, and he's still a puppy, but he's also a fucking German Shepherd, so he does things that other puppies can't do.
Like hate Jews.
Like dominate squirrels. That also.
That's the most brilliant unintentional comic timing in a bit. Hate Jews, dominate squirrels.
Yes.
You get mad at you and fucking run it like that.
I like to wrap my cock in a squirrel. I mean, what's wrong with that, man?
Are we talking about Jews or the actual squirrel? Which one? Because
Either way, man. Whatever you want to put your
I'm just
cock in,
bringing
it's up
up
to you,
the
man.
squirrel thing. Okay. This is what I like to do.
Thank you guys, everybody.